you can send that information to them. How's it going, bro?
Good, good. I'm actually out of town, but I did get the message, so I'm gonna join in.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, I don't have a whole lot today. I know we missed last meeting last month. I know I did. But what I'm gonna do is just kind of go over, or I may let Matt. I may let you go first, and then I could just follow behind you. I was hoping Jared would be on too, and then Jared can speak to the museum that came out in the Star Telegram the day before yesterday. So hopefully he jumps on, but if not, then I'll give him a call and maybe he can fill us in at the next meeting or come to the committee meeting and fill us in as to what their process looks like. So, Matt, I will let you go ahead and get yours out of the way. Maybe you can give us some update as to where we are with the development with Hope Global.
Got you. And I won't be too long. I want to thank you all for giving me the time again, continuously to join you on this committee. We on May 9th, rather, we attended the community meeting and provided the update that we have signed the development agreement with the city to move forward with the Evans and Rosedale development. After that, I mean, we had feedback from the association, which I thought was really good, particularly with one figuring out a strategy to continuously communicate with the community on further future opportunities and quite honestly transparency in terms of timeline, because I am aware that this is a time when people want to see proof in the pudding, and we actually want to see dirt being turned, but at the same time, we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. And so, between now and that time, I want to hear feedback from you all. I want to continue participating in this meeting. I want to provide updates and be active in the committee, but also want to create separate meetings or workshops so that we can communicate opportunities for future involvement with the community. With the project. And so that was noted, and we're still doing that. Again, like I said, I just got back from vacation, and now I'm going to the Fort Worth Black Chambers luncheon tomorrow, but we're actively going to create times so that we can create those meetings for the future. I don't know if that will be monthly. I have not created that timeline yet, or we have not established that timeline yet. I would love to hear from you all feedback as to how frequently you think we should all meet so that you can hear from us. Based on what's happened since May 9th, we have done some horizontal work in terms of working on the architectural design and implementing the feedback that we received from previous community meetings, and that is being more consistent with the red brick than the previous illustrations. That was some feedback that the neighborhood association stated, so that we can show that this community is continuous and we keep the cultural consistency. With that, also tying the design with the Mount Zion Church. That's in the area so that we can be sensitive and not cause a disruption aesthetically, and just focusing on accessibility and things of that nature. So we've talked to our architectural team about that, and they said they are on track to complete their design by year end, is what they said. I will give you all more information on that, but it's just we just want to give you that update. And also our engineer is working with the city stormwater group, and we're trying to create our pre-development meetings and things of that nature with the city. We've had our first pre-development meeting with the city 2 weeks ago, and I have to get back with Stephen on that. I did not attend that meeting as I was on vacation, but we'll update you all on that, so that we can work on the requirements for the stormwater assessment and traffic analysis, so that we can not only report those with the city, but also keep the neighborhood conscious of what's going on. So that's where we are now, and we are looking to make more outreach opportunities. That was mentioned. I think Mr. Williams mentioned it at the meeting on May 9th, so that we can ensure that the community knows what we're doing at the project.
Okay. Okay then. So really, I'm thinking for his extra meetings. I don't know, for us, I'm thinking a monthly meeting that we have right now should work as long as we're, I guess, moving forward. If you guys have some meeting outside of that, if you're planning on meeting with the chamber and y'all coming up with some different meetings, then of course we would, like to be a part and attend those meetings as well. But you're saying that the architecture design may be sometime by the end of this year being completed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I said based on the report. And so, and right now we're really just trying to update the designs that we've shown the community, and provide that feedback based on all of the other all of the feedback.
Are they changing something that they already originally shown?
I don't think anything drastic. I think similar, like I said, the facade type deal. So people had some comments on like the color of the brick to make sure it was consistent with the color scheme of that. So it's more aesthetics, and accessibility also. So walkways, ADA compliance and things, and designs on how that can work within the spaces. But there's nothing drastic.
I guess he froze.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just wanted to ask him about the pre-development meeting. He said they have a pre-development meeting. So I wanted to see if Matt, can you hear me? So I wanted to see. I think we lost him.
Yeah, look like we're having a connectivity problem with him.
So I wanted to see if they had a pre-development meeting, if we can get a copy of the meeting, because I believe it was recorded if they had it with the city. That's what I wanted to clarify with him. And I guess if he can't get a copy because he wasn't there, we can always go back and get a copy, because I thought they was gonna let us know when they was gonna have a pre-development meeting. And from the last time we talked, they hadn't even set one up. So kind of
Right.
concerned as to when that took place, and why we kind of did not know about that. So I don't know. I was gonna wait till he get back on, because it seems like we're still at the same spot that we were the last time we spoke about this. Not to be rude about it, but it don't look like they're moving any faster than the last time. So really not for sure where they're going with that. So I don't know. Lorraine, did y'all have any questions or concern that we need to address with him, or is everybody just kind of? I'm quite sure y'all have some questions about it.
No, I'm right where you are. It seems like they're at a standstill 6 months ago. Same thing.
Yeah, James, I would share that, again, my concern is that, while they are at a standstill, we could be getting licks in on issues that are important to the neighborhood, like parking and traffic flow and all that kind of thing, because, from what I've seen, the glorious pictures of the museum, that just made all those problems even worse, just kind of how it's sited and what it's taken up and all that. So that's my concern, is what are those intersection points where we get licks in on that.
Yeah, that's one reason why I wanted Jared to be on here too, because looking at that museum and what the article is saying, that museum is supposed to be 50,000 square feet, and I don't know how that's going to. That's a humongous building, and I really don't know how that building is going to fit there on that corner. provide the necessary parking to what you were speaking about. Because if this is going to be a national museum, like for pretty much, for our area, that's a lot of traffic that's going to be there. So I don't, to that point, and then to this project point, you're talking about a lot of traffic that I don't know where all that parking is going to take place. Matt, yes.
James,
Hey, guys.
I was going to ask, is someone else speak? I was going to ask Matt, I noticed they did take that building down. So where do we stand as far as developing on that spot? They said they were going to take the building down. And so what's the next phase? Do they do infrastructure, feasibility, soil samples? So try to get an idea if the building is down, how long will it take for something to start happening on that spot? That was going to be my question.
Got you. One, my sincerest apologies for the breakup.
Okay.
I'm glad that it didn't shut everyone else down. I have to put MLK behind me. But I don't have an exact process, but I can get that information to you as soon as possible. What I can do on the text feed, I'll ask Shelly and the team early next week and try to provide an update to the committee via text.
Okay, that would be great. I see, like I said, I see movement where the building is gone. So I just like to know for continuity what's going to happen next.
Is that the building that's on the Evans and Rosedale property, or was that?
No. The one
okay.
the one that we had the last meeting when I don't know if it was last meeting I was in. It's a building at the old convenience store.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not on our property, so that's not in our plans for the record. But I can reach out and see from the city side any more information. I don't have any timelines on that.
So that's not where the townhomes were going to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Was that a part of that property? That's what I was asking.
Which store are you talking about, Ross?
I want to say it's on the corner of maybe Verbena and Evans. The old store that they were saying that they were going to knock down. The building they were going to knock down.
It's not Verbena. It's right across the street from the Federated Women's Club.
Correct.
Okay.
It used to be an old convenience store. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was already in the progress of being knocked down, and I think they finally just got around to it, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
that's not a part of our
quick,
property.
I just got here, but yes, they have knocked that building down last month. We did not have this economic development meeting, but whenever Ho came into the community meeting and talked to us, Robert Stearns told us that building has already been knocked down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, being that Matt is back on, I think James had something he wanted to relay to him.
Yeah, I was going to try to see if that pre-development meeting that you guys had with the city, if we could get get the link to it so we could watch it. Do you know if it was recorded, or do I just need to try to go look for it in the city?
I'll take a look at it. I'll ask. I don't know if it was a public meeting. I know public meetings are recorded, but like I said, I was on vacation, and so I'll talk to my colleague Shelly, Stephen Shelly rather, and see the updates on that.
Yeah, okay. If it wasn't a public meeting, then no, that was. So they
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it wasn't a public meeting, it must have been a private meeting. So
No.
Okay,
I don't know what it was. Let me back for the record. I don't. That's what I'm trying. I will ask him, and we'll let you all know.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
that'll work. All right. Well, we was just trying to see just where you guys were. Still looks like we may be a little ways out before we can actually even, I guess, think about turning dirt, especially with the rendering still in place. Not for sure if they had a true pre-development meeting. I don't know. So
I feel like that. Well, I'll give you updated information on it later, but from the meeting 2 weeks ago. So I'll let you know.
James.
Yeah.
James. I just wanted to say something to Matt. So Matt, we see in news reports that Ho Global is doing You're signing on to big developments that are going on in Dallas. Where do we
Right.
fit into this? Because we don't want to
Yep.
get lost in the shuffle, and you don't seem to know exactly where we are. And
Mhm. So let's clarify one. Thank you for that question. This is actually the developments we've articulated with the last couple of years. These are the same three developments: the New Park development and the So Good development in Dallas. As I was stating, we stated in previous meetings the last several years, we are going through the city process for both of them. And just as what we want to do is not, we don't want to overpromise. And so at our May 9th meeting with the city of Fort Worth, we established that Robert Stern established one timeline, but we've always said it was 18 months outside before we turn dirt. And that's actually, we're still on track with that timeline. I think right now people are seeing news reports and people are really trying to get excited and anxious in the space. And I want you all to keep our feet under the fire. But I want to assure you that the reason why I'm not, my illusion of me not knowing much is because I'm not trying to. We haven't had more meetings with the city like that outside of that pre-development meeting 2 weeks ago, in which I will give you updates on. And so the meetings we have provided with you, we are stating we provided with you to the committee. And I think May 9th was the significant one. But going back to the Dallas developments, that's been in the works since 2017. And we're just at the process of going through economic development to extend the TIF of the New Park project. That's what was the big news that was yesterday. Similar project, similar thing that we did with Fort Worth, actually, with extending the TIF from the west side of 35 to move east. That was essentially the similar approval that we did in Dallas, to answer your question.
no, Matt, I can't speak for anyone else but Lorraine Carroll. It would be very helpful if you could, if there's a time, some kind of, even a tentative timetable, so you have a sense that there's progress, because
right,
you're absolutely right. This has been going on for several years now about this development. And since you guys have been, named as a developer, we saw some sketches. Now you tell us that the sketches have not changed significantly, but it's going to take another 6 months before we can actually see the finished product. I'm just saying, help us help you.
So my actual quote is, we had our meeting with our architects to add the things that the community asked for, like the different facades and things of that nature. We had that meeting with them once we've moved forward with the city and all the development agreements. So we moved to that next phase so we can make those ideas and thoughts a reality. I didn't say, my saying that the design will be done by the year's end is a conservative timeline, because I don't want to tell you, oh yeah, we had our meeting, in 2 weeks they're going to give us something else. I don't want to do that to you all. What I would like to do, like I said at the very beginning of the meeting, is so that we could probably schedule an outside meeting outside of these committee meetings so that we can go down deeper with those things. Because I definitely understand and agree and understand your concern for ensuring that this project happens. And I'm here so that we can ensure that communication is being done.
So what facade changes that the community wanted?
So like I said earlier, there was a description of like the brick not being as consistent in color as in our design as it is currently. And so we are creating all of those feasibility things. I believe there was some opinions that it looked more like it looked unappealing or not progressive enough or too progressive. And so we're just trying to provide all of that feedback and communicate that with the team that did the original rendering so that we can update that.
Okay. All right.
But
I guess we.
it's all stemmed from communications we've had for the last year or so with the community. But we weren't moving forward until we moved forward with the city. And so this is all a part of the pre-development stuff in the phase.
Do y'all have a list of those items?
We have I can send you some of the list. I had it in my computer that's in the other space. I have for that I have bad reception in, but I can give you that report and send it to y'all as well.
But if you can send it to Ms. Jerry, and then she can get it out to us. We're just trying to see. I'm just to be frank. It seems like we're in the same place we was when everything all started, and doesn't look like, and it doesn't have anything
But, and
to
I
do
understand. I
with
understand.
You. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do. It's just like all our meetings is the same thing, and it's nothing like, okay, we got the agreement signed, and we got that paperwork done. We got the date on the books for pre-development. We haven't had anything that's solid yet. Nothing in place to say, hey, this is where we at. This has been done, and this is our next move. So there's no timelines in place. So that's just our biggest concern. And it just seemed like that's just where we at, just to be honest with you.
No,
so
and I totally understand that. I respect that. I understand that. So
okay. Well, that's that's our thing, and like I said, if you get with the chamber, y'all come up with some dates. We'll be more than happy. Before as any additional dates for the historic Southside, we can keep our dates for right now once a month. And I think once we get something solid that we have timelines on, if it's necessary for us to meet at that time, then we can bump up our meetings, because at that time I feel that they will be needed. But as of right now, it seems like we where we at when we started, 6 months ago. So, but keep us up to date.
Will do. Well, I know that people want to see cranes up and things of that nature. So I want to be able to.
Well, not really cranes. Just some solid information. We haven't gotten any solid information from Hogo Hogo yet. Like, we're still pending on pre-development. We're still pending on getting an agreement signed.
Okay.
Now
I'll agree to disagree. That's fine. Okay.
Now the renderings are being done before the end of the year. So with the renderings, to be truthful, with the renderings being done by the end of the year, or maybe a little bit, before that, you're still looking at next summer before anything could even possibly happen.
And so I want to go back to the timeline. That's still within the 18-month timeline that we've always said.
18 months from when?
We said 12. Well, 12, 18
Yeah.
months from at the beginning of the year of January, from when I started saying things. Since the meeting, I believe I started doing these meetings January of this year. And so again, I know your frustration. I am truly going to give y'all updates when I get them. And so, but my goal and my job is to stay consistent and to let you all know that even though it's a frustrating journey, because whole global is as frustrated as well, because our attorneys have done all of the paperwork in a different amount of time, but we're not the only parties that get things moving. So as the frustration that you all receive, that I'm hearing on this call, we have them internally as well. So, but it's my job to ensure that we broker all of this and move forward. So I totally understand.
Man,
yes.
I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna shut up. It can't be too much frustration internally, because you guys are taking on bigger and larger projects. And I say that it's not that we don't want you to take on the project, but we could get subsumed and pushed to the side and delayed. That's the scary thing about this with Hogue, because you're going on to $40, $50 million, $100 million projects, and all we're trying to do is not simple, but our development down here is really, it could get lost in the shuffle. That's Miss Lorraine. That's I understand the optics of that. I want to reemphasize the fact that all of these projects we did not
pick up these projects per se. The only one project that was picked up the most recently, which is probably the University Hills project, but New Park and So Good. Well,
Yeah,
one,
those
we are
have been
not
going
in.
on for years.
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
we
yeah,
realize
yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're not in the business. Again, we're not fee developers, and I know that I recognize that it's got to be proof in the pudding for you all to for it to be trust that we're going to move forward. And so I'm going to give you as much information to dispel that insecurity or the fear that nothing will happen. So I totally get it.
So Matt, I have a question.
Yeah.
In past, we had got further along than where I think where you are, and we had some other developers to sign on. But we also had the backing of people that like who's over Robert Stearns?
It's probably one of the assistant city managers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Stearns
we
over at
had
Mhm.
people like assistant city manager, even at some point people that was in development, city development, higher officials, as well as the mayor, sit down and talk with us. Is there some kind of way we can get some type of meeting with higher ups that we're just not batting in the wind here, just meeting with
So-
you and meeting with Robert? I feel a whole lot better if we had some more higher ups to commit to this and said that this project is gonna go.
So I understand that, and I will advocate for that. I want to
Okay.
one say we're not working with the city, like we are essentially a party similar. We're a party similar to the community. We're actually waiting on the city similar to what you are. The difference is we've only been in this holding pattern since 2017. I'm saying all of that to say there are three separate entities that we all want to work together to move forward. And I can advocate, I can reach out to Robert Stearns and any higher ups with the city. But I'll see what I can do, and I'll follow back up with you.
Well,
That's
this
just
wall, this wall,
do-
if
I
that
think
that.
makes
that's a
you
really
feel
good.
comfortable.
Yeah,
I think that's a really
makes
good
me.
point, Ross.
Yeah.
And because there's at least one other developer, if not two, if not three, in this area. So I think we need to be talking to the city, not talking to Matt at all. But
What?
I mean, that's the linchpin. That's who's going to make the decisions that we can affect. It's the city.
Right. And so what I'm stating is we're going through the city's process based on the bid that was won, and the process is just slower than expected. And I want to see how we can expedite it. But it's not on. I don't want to. I want to assure you, we want this project done. That's why I'm exerting energy, and we're exerting energy for this, and we're excited to continue to move forward with it. But I also understand that y'all have seen it, y'all have heard this before, and we don't want to repeat history like that.
Hold on. Okay, well, yeah, so I guess we'll wait to see what comes up next month. I guess you see our concerns, and
Mm-hmm.
with everything, and I mean, I think it's pretty much the same concerns. I don't think our concerns have changed. We're just getting more and more questions, and we kind of,
Yeah, and
I mean, we can go down this, for quite a bit, because I mean, even questions I have about that one piece of lot that's still not been acquired yet, that I thought Hogoba acquired, but they haven't even bought that lot yet from the one guy that's holding the property up that's in the middle of that. So I don't know, Matt.
So I'm not familiar with that process. I'm not. Right. But y'all always. So this is one thing I will say, and some of y'all have always used it. Y'all know my information, my cell number, and my email. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to call and contact me. If you want to meet me, I'll do that as well. I strongly want to promote us to move forward, and I know that it's going to take a process. It's my job to ensure that this process works, and I know it's a frustration.
So what? Okay, and then we're gonna go after this. What is on the agenda next to do?
So our agenda is ensuring all of the policies, not only policies, but zoning and permitting. So we're going through that now with the city, ensuring that our designs are consistent with City Plan Commission and with the organization within the city, so that we can stay consistent with all of this.
So you're going through zoning and planning right now to ensure that the project that you're putting on there is done correctly.
So we met with the architectural design, so that the design that we showed you all is not only after we've given the feedback, we want to ensure that conceptual design is consistent with city policies, with zoning and commissions and things of that nature. So that's what we're in the process of doing now. That's why we say possibly 2 years in, because we're ensuring that we dot all I's and cross T's in terms of our conceptual design can be consistent and pass through zoning and city council in that space.
Okay, so with that being said, it looks like that's going to maybe be done in the next 4 or 5 months, since the renderings are in the process of being changed. So you can't go and you can't take the current renderings to zoning, because that's not the renderings you're going to use. So once you get the renderings you're going to use, then you're going to take that to ensure that it falls in line with the city's zoning. Is that,
exactly? The renderings may actually have the accessibility and the feedback that the community has said, like the red brick, which wasn't on the original rendering, but could be added into the new design with the accessibility and the proper zoning. So that's why we're trying to ensure all of those are together.
And that's not going to be done until a few more months.
Well, that's all a part of the year's end process. That's what we're working on in the city.
Okay. And we don't have an exact timeline on that. So once that's done, then y'all go back to zoning and planning. So we're kind of like 3 or 4 months out from getting anything solid. I just want to clarify that.
I'm not giving you I'm not giving you any timelines. What I will give you is I will give you answers so that I can create that timeline, because I know that you all want to ensure things are moving forward.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait to see where we at next week. So we'll move on. Jared is not here, so I have one update, and then Miss Jerry, if you have anything, you can inform us. So the only update I have is that we're working with Gina Alexandria, which I'm not for sure if you guys know who she is. She works for TCU, and we're trying to get with Mr. Patrick Vignair. He's over the making decision for the park improvement in regards to the swings and things of that nature. So we're trying to meet with him to figure out exactly what the city is planning on putting over there for its equipment, to make sure it's in line with what we want as well. So once we get this appointment, hopefully within the next week, we can figure that out. And then that way we can let everybody know and hopefully come up with a design that we can present to the neighborhood association to say, hey, this is what the city is looking to put there, and see if we all in agreement. And if not, we'll make the necessary changes that we need to at that point. So that's where we are with Glenwood Park. Other than that update for us, yes.
Yeah, will they put a walking trail in there?
So we're working on that as well. Right now, the city is trying to go ahead and do the improvements for the playground. So we're trying to make sure we stay ahead of that, but we are all working collectively with the coalition that we have with the historic and with TCU, and get in front of Park and Recreation to present them the proposal that we have, that we've been presenting, to figure out how do we get the walking trail, how do we get more picnic tables, volleyball courts, basketball courts, and all the other things that we are
clean up the creek too.
Yeah, and clean up the creek. Yeah. So all of that is, we're working with them collectively. They kind of like not responding like we would like them to, but we're staying on top of them. So next meeting for sure, if not the committee meeting, I will have an update to be able to give you and who we spoke to and what our next step will be and what they're going to do. So just look forward to that. Other than that,
James, James, will you be able to present that at the community meeting?
yes, yes.
Okay,
I'm I'm hoping I will have a solid meeting date with Patrick and in his department to be able to present to you guys, because we all met out there, I believe. Miss
last
Jerry, when
month.
we saw out there,
Yeah.
yeah, last month with I think his name Kevin. No, that wasn't Kevin. His name was
Uh-uh.
forget that guy's name.
The
I
guy,
believe.
the guy that took us through, walked us through
Yes,
everything. Okay.
yes. So we're working with him also. So we're
Okay.
doing all this collectively at the same time. So it's coming around. So hopefully during the committee, I have an update for everybody.
Okay. And I think Johnny wanted you to get in touch with him about that. He said something about a meeting that he went to this morning.
I talked to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to him.
Okay. Um, but okay, right quick, Matt. Let me see. One, two.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you be able to find out anything? Let me see. I'm thinking that this committee wants to know something by at least by or right after the 4th. Is there, before ahead of the meeting at the end of the month next month?
So
After the 4th.
for an update,
Yeah, an update.
what I'll do is I'm guessing I'm guessing things were shut down that couple days before the 4th, so I feel more
Right.
comfortable that week after the 4th to try to give you all a
Okay.
report. Give me a couple weeks so that I can get updates and try to create some type of timelines that I can find that I can definitely feel comfortable.
Okay, because in that way, if you get in touch with me, I'll get in touch with you right after the 4th or 5th, 6th, something like that.
That
And
works.
if so that whenever we get ready to meet next month, they'll have more of, what it is that they want to know about, and, hey, to do whatever needs to be done to get, so that we'll know more. So about the week after the 4th.
What I can do is I'll give you all the most information I can. So
Okay.
that because again, I'm not in the business. I don't want to promise you all things that's unrealistic. I don't want to say, yeah, we're going to be able to force things through City Hall so that we can get through permitting in 2 months. I don't
Right.
want to do that because I honestly don't feel that that's plausible, that's reasonable. But what is reasonable is to figure out this timeline, ensure that we're doing multiple things at one time so that while talking to the architectural firms, we're assuring that we are complying with zoning and planning and everything and all the regulations so that we can blend everything in at the same time so we can
Right.
minimize our time once we submit for planning and zoning so that it can be closer to 3 months rather than 6 or 7 months to get that
Right.
part of the phase approved. So
Okay.
that's what I'll do on mine.
So, question: what zoning do y'all want? What zoning y'all trying to get?
That's a Stephen question. All we're saying is we're ensuring we have to go through. Well, I think we still have to go through P&Z, whether it's a PD. I don't know what exactly the zoning is because it's zoned for the
you say
multifamily, but there may be
who?
other things.
That's a who question?
Stephen Shelley, which
Can you have Stephen
he's doing.
Shelley come? Can he come to the next meeting?
He's been invited. He can attend, and he's provided the same reports that he can. But I can ask him to come. Yes.
Yeah, ask him to come. So that way we're just trying to get some solid stuff. That's all. We just trying to get some stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, because if by
Okay.
now, Matt,
Yes.
y'all should know what zoning y'all want.
No. I didn't say that. So you're putting words in my mouth. What I'm
No,
saying
I
is
asked
we want
you
to
what
ensure.
zoning do you want, and you said
I
that
know, and I
I
said because that's not the question. That's okay. I understand what you're saying, James. I understand totally. What we're doing is I want to ensure that we're consolidating as many processes as possible, and I want to stay transparent. I'm not going to answer a question so that I can have a got you moment. That was the spirit of that. But I understand where you're going with that.
Yeah, it's no got you moments at all. These are all
Okay.
straight up
Okay.
questions these are all questions that you know that you want going into doing a multi-million-dollar development, as to knowing what you have, knowing what the current zoning is, and knowing what zoning you
Okay.
want in the event that's not that zoning. So it's not a got you moment.
Yeah, I got you, Jack. I totally
Okay.
understand. What I will do is ensure that I give you all the most effective timelines possible so that we can all stay on the same timeline.
Okay.
Will that
Yeah.
All
work?
right. All right. Well, that's all I had. Hopefully, I can get Jared on here next meeting, or maybe he'll come to the committee meeting, and that way we can maybe figure out some of these questions like you had, Mr. Wallace, in regards to just getting some information on that project and the size of that project and what that's going to look like for our community, because that building is humongous. So we'll just go from there unless anybody have anything else.
I mean, on these interactions or these meetings with Hoke, are we getting anything like a status in writing, or are we just talking each time?
So that was
Well,
originally.
I
So,
don't think we can
okay.
get anything in writing right now because they really not for sure exactly where they are.
So actually, the report at the very beginning is so we can create that separate meeting so that we can have a dedicated time so that I can provide those reports. That's what that extra meeting outside of this committee meeting was intended for. That's so that once we finish the development agreement, that was the next stage. And that was at the very beginning of my report. So we can create things in writing. I just have to get with the city so that we can ensure the timelines are accurate. I just don't have those right now because our update was signing. We haven't done anything much since signing the document on May 9th, except for that initial meeting with the engineers and the pre-development. So to answer your question, yes, my goal is to have the timeline so things can be in writing, because that will assure comfort, and that holds people accountable. And that's what we want on this end. That's our spirit.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Matt.
No problem, y'all. I appreciate you all. And again, I definitely want to provide what I can for you all effectively.
Cool.
Okay. We will next meeting will be the committee meeting. Then next week, we'll just continue and give updates on economic development, and I think that's pretty much where we are. I mean, we're going to keep moving as a community, and hoping that everybody else will be able to fall in line, and we can continue to move.
James, you tickle me. Your head is moving side to side. I needed to go up and down.
It's just, I don't know. Also, let me say this. Mr. Williams, I didn't know. I spoke with Kevin Tackett. He's the supervisor of Park and Rec. He was over at the building where I was today off Evans. And I don't know if you guys know, they came in, of course, for Juneteenth. They put all the mulch in there. And I told him to go ahead and turn the water sprinklers on for that area, because they're planting flowers and things, but they're going to die if they're not going to continue to water them. So they're supposed to be turning the water on. We're supposed to be having water on Tuesdays and Fridays in order to water the plant. And we're going to meet with forestry in the areas that do not have trees. We're going to have them to replant some trees. Not for sure what that process looks like, but since we was out there talking, we're going to get them to go ahead and do that. So
Is this in the plaza you're talking, or where
yeah,
are you? Okay.
in the plaza.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
but that's it.
Okay, right quick, and guys, just because nothing has been said about it since we first since last year, but I'm thinking that, I'm going to get in touch with Mike Brennan for him to do an update or something about there under the, you know, that he's supposed to be doing there under the bridge at 35 and Rosedale. Oh, James, you probably don't know. You know, Walter, you know the mural or whatever it is that they're, you know, that we had talked with Mike Brennan about.
Yeah, and the lighting
Yeah.
upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
lighting and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll share with you why that's happening.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get him to come to the community meeting next month.
Okay, that work. I know they got approved. The TIF money approved that, so I just don't know where they are with the process.
Which process?
With the mirror that you're speaking about.
I'll let you know about it.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate everybody taking
Okay.
the time. We right at an hour, so Matt, if you find out anything about the pre-development meeting, send it over to Jerry, and they'll get it out to us. Don't know if that's public or private. Just kind of let us know, and then we'll look forward to seeing everybody next month.
All right,
Okay.
Jay.
Thank you all.
All right.
Y'all have a good
Thanks,
one.
Matt.
Did that work,
Right.
Matt?
Oh yeah, it's all good. We're good.
No, last night what I told you about the baby.
Yes, it did. He slept like a big, slept like a rock last night. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You have a good one.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Bye, guys.